the Plotcast podcast with the Potty Plotters. Sponsored by J. Parker's, experts in helping you grow your garden for less.
Shall I start? Right, okay. Hello.
Right, hold on a minute though, Julia.
Yeah.
I think you've already got out of sync because this is an odd.
I know it's an odd.
Well, why are you starting then?
Well, if you look, you've put my name first.
Actually, it doesn't matter about that because people might know who we are now, don't you think?
No, we might have new listeners.
Okay, well,
now
all
the
the time.
producer's coming already, and we've started a row before we've even got going.
All the time I like to attract new listeners who may be unfamiliar.
Oh.
And we may need to introduce ourselves. I mean, let's do. I mean, it's the first episode of the new season, so why don't we do it?
Let's start again. Let's start again.
Okay.
And from here on in, you will be known as Odd.
Well, she's been known as odd for years. Let's be honest at this point.
Right then, go on then.
And I'm even because I'm the balanced one of the two.
So what's that meant me? The producer.
Odd. Very odd.
So go on.
Right, okay, then we're welcome back. And it is sunny outside. Jobs have been done, jobs are to be done, and all's good in this world.
Yeah, and who are you?
Oh, I'm Elaine.
I'm Julia.
And you are?
I'm the producer.
And your name is?
I'm Gareth.
Oh, hello, Gareth.
Yeah. And today...
And what is this?
It's the Potty Plotters Plotcast podcast, season 3, episode 1.
Flip
Oh
it
my
next. You got it right.
Julia.
I know, you can tell that I've had a rest, can't you? And...
You've been rehearsing, haven't you?
Yeah.
No. And we are not recording this from the allotment today because...
It's cold.
Well, it's cold, and let's say earlier in the week, we knew that we were doing this recording, obviously, and earlier in the week, it was forecast that it was going to be hammering it down and freezing. So I, out of the kindness of my heart, booked the local bowling club community room across the road from the allotments because I thought we'll stay nice and warm, toasty. They've got facilities, they've got kettles, they've got toilets and everything. And now we're...
But the bar's shut.
The bar is shut, but there is one. But, Gareth, look out there, look at it.
Yeah, look at it.
Would
you just look at it? I mean, later on, we'll hold somebody to account for this.
I was going to say, don't you know that song, Let's Blame It on the Weatherman?
Yeah, because that's what we called Season 2, Episode 19, when he first appeared with us.
Really?
Yeah.
Rob.
Poor Rob, he's wrong.
Yeah, well, someone was wrong. Someone was wrong,
yeah.
He's a wrong and he is.
Someone was wrong because we're looking at these glorious bowling greens. I mean, gosh, that's how
they have got one hell of a lawnmower, haven't they?
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah.
And it is glorious sunshine. I mean, it might be a bit
cold.
nippy,
It is, but look at the blue sky, Julia.
Anyway, enough moaning.
Yeah.
So we are where we are, and it is the start.
We are where we are. Put up with it.
We're nice and warm.
You know what I'm seeing from here? I can actually see the price list just about.
Oh, yeah.
Lager, ale or cider, £1.50.
I think we should hang around after we've done this.
I think I'm going to go get the key.
Okay.
Spirits, I'm not sure whether that's the dead kind or the gets you very drunk kind, £2.50 and a mixer is 50p. This is really cheap. This is like the best night out ever. I mean, we could get drunk on £2.75.
Not a bad thing, really. Yes, we
next
could make
time
it
then
fun.
I'll book us for an evening, shall I?
Oh, I think we might have an audience for an evening.
Oh, that would be nice here, wouldn't it?
That would give you what you call the atmos, which is what Gareth likes in the background, other than just us two talking.
You see, he doesn't like to put the extra bit on, fear. Yeah, because he is fearful.
Yes.
No, I'm not. I've got used to you now. I mean, Rob will get used to you eventually, but wine. £2.
He's still looking at that. We're going to turn him round.
Wine,
back
£1.50.
to this podcast here, Gareth. Now, obviously, we've not been practicing, so can you remind people how to get in contact with us, or if they want to, send us any questions?
Yeah, so if you would like to get in touch with us, have we had any while we've been away?
Well, we have actually, but what I've done is...
reply to them all.
I have.
Okay.
And then what I've also done is I've invited some to actually take part on the podcast in the future. I know. How good of me.
How many episodes have we been trying to get that to happen?
Yeah.
So if you'd like to get in touch with us, and if you've got any questions, you can get in touch via the social media channels. We're on Facebook and Instagram at Potty Plotters. You can email us if that's still a thing. I don't know, it's 2025. It might have changed. Naughty Corner at pottyplotters.uk, or you can check out the website pottyplotters.uk. And I have one little brief message before we move on. Thank you to Andy and Em for supporting us on Ko-fi. And if you want to support us on Ko-fi, to buy Ko-fi, coffee, tea, whatever it is, or indeed spirits, lager, ale, cider, crisps.
We're going to take him off that list.
Then click on the link in the social media post supporting this episode.
I'm just laughing at the email as to whether people do email us. Yes, they do, Gareth. And we did actually have an email with a photograph attached once saying, I've got a big one.
Yes, I remember that one.
Please think carefully about what you put in that line.
Not
and if you are sending us photos, please keep them clean.
The Plotcast Podcast with the Potty Plotters.
So would you like me to explain this?
I think so, yeah, because
you do it more professionally.
Because some people, a long time ago, we did talk about this because we used to put it in. If you'd like to sponsor, we did, didn't we?
We did, and somebody has. So for the next few episodes, we're going to be sponsored by J. Parker's. So this episode is brought to you by J. Parker's, which is a family-run business stretching over 3 generations who are passionate about sharing the gardening journey with you, supplying the best value bulbs, plants, seeds with unbeatable customer service. And they have a very special offer for our listeners. If you use the code PLOTCAST15, you're going to receive 15% off your order. So you can find them by searching online at jparkers.co.uk.
We have been off air for a couple of months, and of course we've both been at home. Elaine's been dealing with domestic disasters, and I've been dealing with...
When you say domestic disasters, sounds like something's happened in my relationship with my husband.
No, you had a big leak, didn't you?
Yeah, we did have a big... And I don't mean the kind that you grow.
No, you had
we had water coming out the sockets, which was not very good.
And I was quite poorly, so what do you do when you're quite poorly, you can't get down the allotment? You go on the internet, and then what we've been doing is we've been getting a bit carried away, ordering seeds and bulbs. As I say, I've ordered a great big order from J. Parker's before I knew they were sponsoring us, Gareth, which is lovely.
Don't blame me.
No. But,
don't blame me for your addiction.
But anyway, we've come up with a cunning idea, haven't we?
It's dead easy because my husband doesn't know what I've been doing when I'm sitting twiddling on the internet, and neither does yours. No. So what we
I'm surprised that yours doesn't, because I'd have thought with all of his technical know-how, he'd actually be just monitoring what you're doing.
Don't give him ideas, Gareth. Right, carry on.
So what we actually do, Gareth, is when we put our orders in, where it says deliver to, and it often says or shipping or whatever,
shipping?
Yes, I put Julia's address.
And I put Elaine's address. And then we bring them down the allotment.
Don't they ever ask questions like, why is Julia having stuff delivered to your house and vice versa?
Yes, and that's the beautiful thing about it, Gareth, because they think they're involved in some kind of conspiracy with us.
Well, to be fair, they are.
Yes.
Yeah, but
without even realising it, they are.
That's the thing. Yeah. And they don't listen to this podcast, so that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so anyway, Elaine's got about a truckload of seeds, haven't you?
I have, yeah. I've had loads delivered. But we are going to talk our way through most of them for the next year.
Could you grow some of them as well?
Yes, I've got some here already, Gareth. Be excited already, yeah. That's J. Parker's. Be surprised, yes.
Broad bean, Sutton dwarf.
Yes.
Okay, I know where they're going.
Shall we get this episode underway? But I've noted the first thing on the list is an update on the loofah drying from season 2, episode
40. But she had a massive leak, so it's probably not dry now. Probably use the loofah to mop it up with.
Believe you me, it's a whopper. So I'd like to say thanks very much to John Barrett, who's from Cryche Gardening Group, who we met before Christmas. Now, we went on the internet and we keep on saying don't believe everything that you see or hear on that blooming thing, because it gets on my nerves. But well, we were told all kinds of things on there. For instance, there were some Americans who put their loofahs in order to dry them out in the oven. That doesn't work, it just cooks them.
And I tried rolling them.
You sound surprised that an oven might cook something.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then I tried rolling them and I just got in a sticky mess and made a right mess on the table.
So that doesn't work either. And then when we went to gardening club at Cryche, John, older chappie, came up and he said, just stick it on radiator duct. So I
Did it really
translated
talk like that?
that. Yes, he did,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
And I thought, I think what he means is dry it out slowly on some kind of internal heating system, which we have at home. Yeah, so that's what I did. And I put it on the radiator, I turned it, and I turned it, and I turned it. And you know what? After a
dried
month,
out.
completely dried
month?
out. A month,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Slow dry.
Slow.
Have you not had the heating on much?
Yeah,
That
you
would-
just
that would
keep
have
on.
dried out in about a day in our house.
Honestly, Gareth, you'd have been thrilled. It was enormous, this loofah, and it has turned out to be the best thing ever. 274 seeds were in it.
That's how bored you've got not being down the allotment, isn't it?
I counted them all.
1,
But there you go.
3, 4, 5. Sorry, Bill. Oh, God, I've got to start again. 1, 2, 3.
But I did it.
Yeah, so well done, John.
Thank you.
Thank you for the tip, and well done, Elaine, for following his advice. I was a bit concerned when he told us that it would ruin your wallpaper above the radiator, but it hasn't. So.
No, and if we'd had more sunshine last year, they would have all dried out on the vine. But as you will hear, as we go through the season, and we're growing some more this year out of the 274 seeds, then you will see how easy
lot of
they are to
loofahs.
grow. It is, but I tell you what, there's a market out there.
There's a market in a lot of places.
The Plotcast podcast with the Potty Plotters, sponsored by J. Parker's.
So we've made some changes, haven't we, for this season? Well, you have anyway, unilaterally.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Because when you're sitting there, you think, right, well, what we need to do is tell people about it. So the first thing is, now what we're going to do is record every fortnight.
Oh.
Yeah.
And what you mean? So put the episodes out. Can't even
What?
speak. Put the episodes out every fortnight rather than every week.
Yeah, going out every fortnight. It makes it easier for people to listen to us for that half an hour.
Going to a fortnightly thing, it gives us a chance to work out what we need to put in a bit more. And obviously, we've been here for 2 years now, so there's only so many ways of skinning the same loofah. See what I did there?
Nice.
See? So it gives us a chance to develop some ideas, and also without going over the same stuff over and over again. But it does mean that we can get more stuff in and target it better. There you go.
Yeah, and make it more interesting for
Yeah.
the listeners.
Yeah. And one thing that we are going to be doing, we're going to have seasonal weather information from our very own weatherman, Mr. Rob Rose.
Now, you sounded like it's a person that you keep in a shed, our
To
very
be fair-
own weatherman.
To be fair, that's probably where he should be kept.
Oh, no, he's very jolly. And if you get the chance, have a look at him on social media, because he likes to wear all kind of jazzy suits, and he does like a bit of a joke. Which the weather is generally.
He's not very good at that, though, is he?
Not the jokes?
No. He's not Tony Blackburn, is he? No. Okay, then.
I find that a very strange comparison, if I'm going to be honest.
Tony
That
Blackburn.
you're comparing somebody whose jokes,
Blackburn, yeah. He's brilliant.
whose jokes are notoriously rubbish, and he's openly admitted that they are basically cracker jokes.
He's not Michael McIntyre, is he?
Yeah, I thought I'd have gone with that one actually.
Yeah.
He's,
Do you think that he's funny?
Yeah.
Do you?
Peter Kay, I like a bit of Peter Kay.
Oh, no. I think he's had his day.
Does he?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. I'm just saying this could get nasty in a minute, couldn't it? Righty-ho then. So, the other thing is we're going to be doing more talking about growing in containers.
Good.
Yes.
And I think that will be helpful for a lot of people who haven't got an allotment, a big garden, or necessarily a big space, because we actually do the meal barrows, and we go on about them, which are just wheelbarrows, which are just a space really that you can grow in. But we thought we'd have a go at doing more of that. So I've specifically studied over the past couple of months all kind of miniatures.
Oh, that should be my
you can get some of those in the bar over there, can't you?
No.
I've just noticed.
Yes.
Just noticed behind. I mean, you might want to turn around. Whilst I did read the price list out and the spirits, they've taken all the spirits down,
Well, of course.
but they've locked the bar.
Because we knew we were coming.
Yeah.
Anyway,
There's
the
no
other
gin
thing
or anything.
The other thing that you've got listed here for
Yes.
this season, Elaine, is brilliant bits. Now, which are your brilliant bits?
I wish you'd prepare me when you're going to do something like that.
Right. Shall we move on then, Julia?
Well, I was going to say my brilliant bits are my green fingers. What's your brilliant bit? Your brain.
Each week we're going to do a little bit of, not a hint and tip, it's a brilliant bit.
We got rid of hints and tips. And is this just
Yeah.
basically a rebranding?
Yeah, actually,
Okay,
yeah. But they're dead good. We could put dead good bits.
Dead good brilliant bits. I'll book Danny now and get him to record that, shall I?
It sounds like the fast show, that, doesn't it?
They've got brilliant bits.
I'm going to have to keep you two in order today, aren't I?
I don't know what's happened.
And what has happened, you haven't even got in that bar area, but what have we been doing since we last spoke on the podcast? What have we been up to other than dealing with domestic disasters?
That you keep going on about. Loads,
the more you go on about it, the more likely it is something is going to happen now. You need to just talk about her leak. It's a lot easier.
Yeah. Well, what was lovely was Gareth bought us. Well, it was a build-your-own-bee kit, wasn't it?
No. It wasn't. No, it was a build-your-own-bee hotel. Bee
Beehive?
Beehive.
Beehive.
Bee hotel.
It was a bee hotel. It wasn't a build-your-own-bee kit.
No.
Because you can't build those.
No. Well, I built mine.
I built mine.
Yeah, and mine's in my car, ready to put out,
And
which I'm
mine's
going
in
to.
my shed, ready to screw up.
We can, screw up. No, you can't screw it up, Julie.
Onto the wall.
Yes. And so thank you for that, Gareth. And I thought it was a really good gift. So we did talk about Christmas gifts quite a lot, didn't we?
Yes.
And I think that was one worth buying. It's one that people can put together. People will, won't they? Obviously, but younger people.
So to put this into context, it was a flat pack kit, and you got the outer of the hotel, so the walls, I suppose, and the roof bit, and then it got the there was tubes, wasn't it?
Yeah, bamboo tubes.
Bamboo tubes, which obviously will attract the bees in. And the idea is that we spoke a lot last season about the lack of pollinators, and probably some of the weather had problems. Caused problems for them, and we spoke to the nice bee lady from the Beekeepers Association, where you asked if bees had knees.
Yes.
And she played along well with that one. So the idea of that was to kind of see if we could entice some bees onto the plots. Obviously, we grow a lot of flowers on the plots to try and pollinate the flowers.
Yeah, and I loved them, and it worked. And it's one of those that you can paint yourself, but I'm not going to. But I really liked it.
And it came in a lovely tin.
Which you can recycle.
Which we've recycled and are storing seeds in at the moment. So
it was a multifunctioning present.
Yeah,
so
very
clever
good.
of you. He's obviously listened to our comments, hasn't he?
Yeah, occasionally. So tell us about your bulb lasagna that we did before Christmas then.
So the bulb lasagna has sprouted.
Yes.
So there's I think there's 2 shoots in it now. I haven't been out for a while because I can't get across that side of the garden because of all the rain we've had. It'd be like swimming in it. But I can see from the house that there's a couple of shoots. We've left the netting on that we put over it because there's been a squirrel that's been coming around and digging everything up. He's a little...
Get your tights out for that.
He's a little pest.
Yes.
He is. And he's been burying his nuts. In fact, to the point where I went out, I think it was just before Christmas, and you know the troughs where we'd put the spinach in last year? We'd left one out, and there was some nuts in it, and I thought that he'd put his nuts there. You know, Alison was just trying to basically save him the trouble of digging the holes and just putting the nuts there for him. So that's up. Yeah, I know.
We need to have a word with her, don't we?
Yeah,
What's that all about?
I know. There's no hope for some people. The garlic's going well. So we planted the garlic, so that sprouted, I think, before we finished, didn't it, for last season? So that's got some really long shoots on it.
Yeah.
It's obviously been affected a little bit by the weather, but it won't do any damage to it, as we discussed. And do you remember on Election Day last year when I planted or put the seeds in for the carrots?
Yes, I remember it.
Don't bother. They were...
July, that was
July, around the 5th, 6th, 7th, something like that. Something around, whatever the day, the Thursday was of that week, we did the carrots. The idea was they were for Christmas, and that we'd pull them out for Christmas. Yeah, didn't bother. There was no, you know when carrots are ready to go, you get the little orange thing.
Yeah, the
shoulder. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, none of them. So, whilst the leaves and the what do you call them, the fronds were there, nothing really there, and they've been binned.
Oh.
So, yeah, the carrots were a disaster. So, need to think of a better way of doing carrots this year.
Okay. Well, we will.
So that's the update from my plot. My very small plot.
Wow, we've been very busy, haven't we, Elaine? when we were getting down, we've been busy. We've cleaned out the tangerinery. We've been very busy going out doing talks. We've talked to all kinds of people this year. I mean, it's not just gardening clubs and WIs now. We had the Ramblers the other week.
That was quite funny though, because we thought it was about talking.
Yeah.
And it was about walking.
It was.
It was a bit of a
Walking and
disappointment.
talking.
Yeah, and we walked into the wrong room, which was a slimming world, when we were meant to be talking to a group, didn't we?
Yeah.
They got quite excited when we walked in. I don't know why.
I think they thought that they'd got, a presence.
Spirits again.
Yeah.
The Plotcast podcast with the Potty Plotters.
We are lucky to be joined on the podcast by the lovely local weatherman, presenter, East Midlands, Rob Rose. Now, Rob, Elaine and I both follow you on the social media, and we know that you do like a bit of a joke or two. So can you tell us a joke that's not the weather, please?
Oh, well, here we go. Hang on. Stand by, everybody. Here we go.
Well, I do have a joke relating to the weather, actually, because we've had some fairly stormy conditions, haven't we? And it was so windy the other day that my wheelie bin now is on a speed awareness course.
So you did say you knew a joke. When's that coming in?
Yeah. Is that interference I can hear there?
No, it's not. You mentioned the storm, and we've just recently, we're recording this the day after probably the worst storm I can remember for a long time. In certain parts of the country, we're under a red weather warning, which is quite rare, isn't it, Rob, to get one of those?
The red warnings are the rarest. So Storm Eowyn brought some world record gusts of winds. So along the Irish coast, we saw winds in excess of 100 miles an hour. So the red ones are, like you say, the rarest of warnings, and they indicate, danger to life. Action is needed. So the government also triggered their new smartphone alert system as well. So it's all been happening.
Rob, are these storms something that we can expect on a regular basis?
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the data earlier, and there's no link specifically to climate change and the number of storms, but what there is a small link with is the impacts of the storms. So, for example, for every 1 degree warmer we are as a climate, we retain 14% more moisture in the atmosphere. And if the sea levels get warmer as well, what tends to happen is, storms that track our way don't really gain much momentum because it's too cold. But if we do get to a state where the sea, the Atlantic, is warmer, then we have the chance to really ramp up these storms when they get to us. So although the number won't increase, because that's all to do with the positioning of the jet stream and just the way different parts of air, in the north it's cold, the south is quite warm, the jet stream squeezes and gets tighter. So what we've seen is an increase in the jet stream, which has really sort of fueled this storm towards us. So there's a lot happening. It won't increase the number of storms, but it could make them more violent, perhaps.
I mean, we moaned at Rob. Let me just say, last time we had Rob on here, we moaned about him talking about maybe, probably, and possibly. And can I say, in fact, shall we give him a round of applause? Because you stopped saying that.
No.
You think he's more sure about what he's doing?
Yes, he's absolutely positive.
Or he's just scared of you?
It's coming up. Yeah, it's coming up to a year anniversary. That's got nothing to do with it. It's just being terrified of you two.
Exactly. I mean, Elaine's always said to me, talk and walk with confidence and people will believe anything and let you through any door. And that's what we do. So.
Do you know what? Stick a high vis on as well and you can do whatever you want.
That's exactly what I did add on. But you see, what I'm baffled about, getting back to it, we have had these dreadful storms. I don't understand why they're being called what they are. I thought we were starting with alphabetical and starting with A, Alice, B, Bravo, Bill, or whatever. Why have we gone to all funny names?
Well, it's because we have links with other Met services, and this year we have gone for Irish names. So, yes, the one we had most recently was Eowyn, which there was some confusion about over the pronunciation. I said, think Freddie Mercury, Eowyn.
I thought you'd gone and think more Teletubbies.
And not every area of low pressure is named a storm. It depends on how much of an impact it's going to be on the UK. And what we generally tend to see is storms being named by the Irish Met Service or the Spanish Met Service. I mean, we have another one on the way.
Do you think they do it on purpose, just to sort of trip weather people up by giving them really difficult names they've got no chance of pronouncing?
Well, I am starting to wonder this because we have been very kindly sent a pronunciation guide. Now, some of the breakdowns in syllables have confused me more. So I've had to listen to somebody else saying it. I mean,
that's always dangerous.
There's one coming up. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but the breakdown of it is something like roll, and I was like, what? I can't work it out.
Well, moving on from that, what can we expect over the next coming months, Rob? Because actually, we've had snow, we've had ice, and I think that's quite normal for winter. Yeah. And I think we've kind of moved away from that.
People are surprised when it's cold outside. I mean, we're sat here, it's the tail end of January, we're recording for the first episode in February, and people are surprised it's cold.
It should be, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
It should be. We should have cold and snow, and that's really good for the allotment.
Forget the snow.
I think people are more shocked by the cold weather because if you remember early December, it was really mild. I mean, Christmas Day, we had temperatures in Aberdeen reaching 14 degrees. It was incredibly mild. So I think suddenly now we've had this contrast of a cold snap and back to kind of average temperatures, which is cold for winter. People are going, oh, isn't it cold outside? I think there's almost a risk of people getting used to milder temperatures. But in terms of what's coming up in the horizon, well, going into February, I think we're going to have largely dry conditions for most of the UK. And now overnight, when you have clear skies, temperatures do fall away rather quick because daytime heating from the sun isn't strong enough. So it is likely to be frosty overnight, around average temperatures in the daytime, but no significantly cold weather is expected at the moment. But as I say, the further ahead you look, the more uncertain the weather is. But temperatures should be near or little above average overall.
That sounds quite positive. I mean, as long as there's not the rain coming, I'm quite happy with that because it was the rain that got us last year.
I just wanted to know, actually, Rob, where do you get your fantastic outfits for the weather from, and why don't you do more of them? Because it jollifies us all up.
Did you see my Christmas one?
Did I?
Yes. Oh.
I would have put a comment if I knew how, but I can't fathom that out. But
is that the one where it was dressed as Father Christmas?
No, he'd got this really, well, I was going to say outrageous, but it's lovely.
With lots of Santa faces on it. Yeah. It's very nice.
Well, I've got lots of friends who are sewers, and I'm just thinking maybe we should just get more suits made for you, or outfits, not suits.
Do you know what? I would be thrilled by that. So I've got a cloud suit, a bit like the one.
Did you say cloud or clown?
Cloud suit. A bit like Prince wore. I've got that. That is, I'm hoping, gonna come out this year on TV. But the others are from Vinted. I mean, suits are really expensive.
Oh, brilliant.
And so I go for pre-loved clothes, and I get some exceptional deals.
Well, a round of applause for recycling there.
Yeah,
recycling Rob.
Yeah, and doing your bit for the environment. But can you get one with lots of sunshine on? Because I'd rather have the sunshine.
Oh, that would be fabulous, wouldn't it?
I have looked for one of these suits, and I can't find one. If you spot one, I would love it.
Right. We're on it now.
Would it be wrong, Rob, for us on this to actually ask for all your measurements?
Inside leg is around 32 inches, I think.
What, round your leg?
Quite tall.
Tree trim.
I think we ought to do that.
Do you get lots of viewers write in about your suits as well?
Look, the last time I promised a woman 5 inches, she said it didn't snow enough. I've had some interesting feedback about my suits. There tends to be a lot of love. Of course, with every sort of 100 messages, there's always one that's a bit like,
sorry about
be
that.
a bit more serious. Yeah,
be a bit more serious.
It's Gareth Jones who always. Dr. Jones.
Here we go.
Oh, no.
You know, next time, which is about 3 or 4 episodes' time, do you want to come down and do this live? That way that they can actually...
measure him.
Yeah.
Actually, that would make a good film, that would.
And every time I say something and Gareth doesn't like it, he'll just say, ow!
Well, I don't think.
I would love to come down and have a munch on your vegetables.
You'll have to wait until it gets going until about August. That is.
Yeah.
Actually, we could invite him to our open day.
We could.
We could actually do a stand, couldn't we? They could all have selfies with your suit and all that. I think we've got to get this suit made. You've set me off now. Yeah.
Sunny, yeah.
Yeah, I think we've got to. Well, it's like we could have overalls for every occasion.
Yeah.
Whatever the weather.
We wouldn't be allowed to show it on the telly, but what you could do is, like, on the inside pocket, you could put, like, with love from the Potty Plotters, and then I could tap my little chest and just know that I've got some love.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We've always got love from us.
Yeah.
Yeah, Billy, my husband, he calls you my mate. Is your mate? I don't what? Is your mate here?
Yeah.
Isn't that nice? Hey, I know. We could have a tomato off.
We did that before.
Yes,
if
I
you
know,
remember,
but
I
on
won
our
that.
plots on our open day.
Yeah, but if you remember, I would. No, I'll tell you what we could do.
It's going on now.
I'll tell you what we could do on the open day with the tomatoes is put
Throw
Rob in
them
the
at him.
stocks.
We could raise money.
He's just angry because when we did a tomato competition, as a joke, I bought one from a supermarket,
Yeah, but I
and everyone was going, "Wow, that is the most perfect tomato."
Yeah, but then they tasted it and then realised that it wasn't. And if you remember, I won. And you were a little bit miffed that I may or may not have had some help from some close personal friends.
Yeah, like you do.
Yeah. And also, the person judging you was responsible for booking them for ships, so I kind of think there was some bias there.
How we used to rig stuff.
Do you ever wish that you'd been a weather presenter in the kind of times when you just stuck those things on the board?
Magnets.
Yeah, rather than all this high-tech going on.
He's quite technical, you see.
Oh, right, okay.
He's quite good with, he's apparently good with computers.
Oh.
Do you know what? It's funny you asked that question because we had a slight tech issue the other day. So the way weather works is we can only see ourselves when we look into the camera. So if you read the news, it's words going up the screen, but we just see ourselves. We don't have a script. Yeah. There was an issue where I couldn't see myself the other day, and because our graphics are so complicatedly brilliant, I really struggled to sort of move my arm around to follow what was happening because I couldn't see myself. I got a secret monitor behind the TV that I can look at. So yeah, back then I did wish I could just have the magnets and just slap them on the wall and go, here's what's happening there, here's what's happening there.
I love them magnets.
Maybe because you are so clever now, predicting stuff so far in advance, maybe you should stop doing that and just do it on a daily basis. We could give you a weather forecast today because it's absolutely glorious. We've got a blue sky ahead and it's reflecting fantastically
nice
over
bright.
Onto the white building in front of us, the massive white building, etc.,
I hope you've got your sun cream on. Especially if you sat in a greenhouse, you'll start growing.
You won't want me to grow anymore.
God, no.
Flipping heck, no, things are bad.
Hey, I've got a question for you, actually.
Yeah.
Is it true that if you tend to tomatoes naked, they turn redder and cucumbers grow longer?
Well, Rob, what we can do with that answer is, why don't you come down and join us on World Naked Gardening Day in May?
Oh my God, nobody needs to see that.
We've gone very blue.
The Weatherman turned blue. And it wasn't with cold.
That's what I'm going to call this episode now. Thank you for that one.
Oh, dear.
Well, it's been a pleasure to talk to you both.
Thank you
All
very
three
much.
of you, I suppose.
Yeah, it's been a
pleasure. Now, I'm on it.
Yeah.
I just need all your measurements. It's not right, is it? I keep going on about that.
Yeah.
But I want
Best get on a diet then.
No, we don't want a diet person. We want substantial Rob.
Well, you'll certainly get substantial Rob when he comes around, won't you?
Hopefully it's not cold.
No.
The Plotcast podcast with the Potty Plotters, sponsored by J. Parker's.
Right then, well, Gareth, I don't know if you've actually got a new twiddly bit.
Not yet, but I can get one on. I can put one on order.
Yeah, right. Get one on order then, because this
good,
is
brilliant bits.
Yeah, this is right.
I might do
Here
it myself.
is.
Dead good, brilliant bits.
Quite like that.
Dead good, brilliant bits.
It's dead good.
Anyway, right then. Well, I thought that this was a dead good brilliant bit, which is what Julia did.
Thank you very much, Elaine. Well, I don't know if you've seen, but some seed suppliers now, obviously environmentally maybe, or cost conscious, don't actually include pictures or anything on the packets of what you've purchased with your seeds. And so what I've found, especially with
more
the flowers...
More like a serving suggestion.
Yes. So what I found with the flowers in particular is I can't remember what I've ordered because I just get carried away when the seed catalogue comes. So what I do is I hold on to the seed catalogue. When the seeds come, I then cut out the picture relating to the seeds and stick it on the back of the packet.
And that's not just flowers.
No, but I think...
But she knows what a leek looks like.
Yeah, generally.
Yeah, I mean, generally with the vegetables, you do know what you're talking about. Although squashes and some things like that can be very different, can't they? So it definitely helps. But certainly with the flowers, it definitely helps to cut out the pictures so I know what I'm looking at growing.
So if you think it's a dead good brilliant bit, let us know.
I think we've just rechristened this whole part of the show, haven't we?
It's almost like going back to children's belly, isn't it? Not that we've ever been on it. No.
Top-notch advice, no Latin included. The Potty Plotters Plotcast.
Well, talking about dead good brilliant bit, it's fair to say that this is a dead good brilliant bit because now we are being sponsored by J. Parker's, and J. Parker's is a leading bulb and plant retailer, which we know about, Julia, specialising in supplying exceptional quality and value products for over 90 years. So why not let J. Parker's help you grow your garden for less and benefit from their vast experience and product range of over 2,000 products online. They are actually offering us and all listeners of the Plotcast podcast an exclusive 15% off all orders. Visit jparkers.co.uk and use the code PLOTCAST15, that's 15, at the checkout. Then, Julia, it's that time, and I just want to talk about potatoes. Yes. Now, we've been out to Markeaton Garden Centre, actually, where we got potatoes because we wanted occasionally, as we do, just to buy a few taters.
Yeah, so, I mean, generally most people will buy seed potatoes in bags, and they're usually 2 kilograms, 2.5 kilograms, and you get quite a lot of taters. But what we found is, because we don't want to grow that many, and also we want to try a couple of varieties, we've gone to a local garden centre where they have them loose, so we've been able to select them, so perfect sizes, the size of a hen's egg, and we've selected the varieties we've wanted, and we've only just had a few of them, so we didn't need to buy the whole big bags. Perfect, and they're just chitting at home at the moment, Elaine.
Right, and the important thing on this is making sure that you've got the right size, isn't it?
Yes.
So you're saying that it's the size of a hen's egg?
Yes.
So it fits in the palm of your hand?
Yes, it does, even my hand, Elaine.
Yeah, brilliant. That's another brilliant bit. It's amazing, isn't it? How many times you say that word and you didn't know?
Yeah. So all I've done is I've selected varieties that are going to crop early.
Right. Now, where are you putting these potatoes? So you've been and got them. You haven't put them in the fridge, have you?
No, I've put them in a cold room, but where there is light coming through, and I've just popped them in my egg boxes, giving them space between each of the seed potatoes, and then all they'll do is slowly chit, which means that they will put out small shoots. And I don't want the long spindly white ones that you find at the back of your cupboard. I want little dark stunted almost chits that almost look like leaves that start to come out, and that's all you're looking for. You don't want to do anything other than that now. It's far too cold to be putting them out or in the ground,
because if they get frosted,
blimey,
they're ruined, aren't they?
Yeah, and that's something else to comment on. Is last year I had some from our main suppliers, and the first lot of seed potatoes I had all went rotten, and that was obviously because somewhere along the delivery process they'd actually got frosted, and so they all rotted. They're no good if they've gone rotten.
I mean, we've spoken about this, and it's the first thing we always talk about on every season. So for more about how to chit, what potatoes to look for, when's the right time to plant them and move them out of the egg boxes, head back over to episode 1 of season 1 or season 2, and you'll have everything about chitting. That's chitting. Not to be confused with anything else which might end in ing.
Okay then. Now the other thing is shallots. I've actually started
Have you
them
got a lot
off
of them?
already. Yeah.
A lot of shallots?
Yeah, a lot of shallots, and I love them. And I love them simply because, as I've said before, for one shallot you get 5 back.
That's a bargain.
That's a bargain.
That is. What type of shallots do you plant?
I always do golden gourmet because they're bulbous, they're round.
So not the
No, not banana ones.
No, because they wouldn't look good as pickled onions, would they?
No, but they're great in cooking.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are good in cooking. Actually, it's not too late to start some, so I can do some. If you prefer those, I will do some, Gareth.
Well,
Because
there you go. That's the first order of the season.
Yeah.
Well, they're in the ground a long time, the shallots. So what I've done is I've started them off into cell trays. Now, the cell trays are the plastic cell trays that you get anywhere, but you can do them if you wanted in individual plant pots, but it's just to give them a head start and keep them out of the water because we've got a lot of it on our plot. So it just gives them a head start. And at the moment, they're in the tangerinery, which is like an orangery, for those of you who don't know it, but much, much smaller, but much, much bigger than a greenhouse. And all I've done is I've kept them in there. They're okay with the cold, that's not going to affect them, but it's the water they don't like.
Yeah, and you've not watered them, have you, Elaine?
No.
Is that because there's enough water in the compost?
Yeah, and it's moist out there. That's a word and a half, isn't it? Yeah, there's a lot of moisture in the air, so they don't need anything. And you've got a lot of leaks in there as well. I don't mean leaks as in leaks, I mean leaks as in holes.
As in what you had.
As in what I had in the kitchen, yeah, that's
there's
not good.
buckets everywhere, but I don't know how to repair it. It's one of those, it's a bit difficult to how to repair it. I've asked Steve. He's gonna sort it
He'll
for
know
me.
everything.
Yeah.
But, so I can do some banana shallots, and let's see how they go. I've never, ever tried them before, so that might be the new thing that we do this year. Okay, well, we will. But it means that the shallots will actually get an opportunity to get a root system before I put them out. And then I'll put them out into I've already got the bed prepared, actually. That is one that's done. It's a really sandy bed. That's what they like. Loads of drainage. And it is a raised bed as well. So they can go out.
Can we try them in pots, do you think?
I've never tried them in pots. They should work.
I'm just thinking for my garden, I don't have a huge amount of area that the cat hasn't decided it's going to use.
Yeah.
So if we did it in pots, what sort of depth would you sort of they need?
Mine, they don't need, they're quite shallow because they only need the depth of the bulb itself. But if you're going to go banana, how big's your banana?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a personal question.
And it's more about your spacing, really, isn't it? Because, of course, when you think about it, when you just plant one onion, it will just grow into a big onion. The shallots will take up more space.
Yeah.
So it's about having probably about 12 inches between each one that you set.
Yeah, and it does depend on which you're going to go for. But if we're going to go banana, I would say we might need to go a little bit deeper. I'm going to have a go. Yeah, and I'll take some photos as well.
The Plotcast Podcast with the Potty Plotters.
Well, that went quickly, didn't it?
Well, it depends who's listening, Julia. It might have gone quickly for us, but that's because we're nice and warm in here as well.
Yeah.
Don't think that's going to last for long. But anyway, it's fair to say that we've got to go now.
Oh, well, thanks for listening to us, to this new season. And if you want to get in touch, well, Gareth's already told you, because we can't. We can never remember all those details,
Yeah,
can
but
we?
people do, don't they? Actually, I did email you.
Did you? What about?
I can't remember that, but I have.
Have you got a question you want to ask?
Would you like a cup of tea?
Anyway.
Yes, we would like a cup of tea, actually, since you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Cake now.
Anyway,
then.
next time on the Plotcast podcast, we will be talking to they're not new starters, they're
Last
year starters, about their experiences, and we'll be sowing broad beans. You'll be doing a few tricks. That's what it says.
Tricks? I'll be doing a few tricks.
So in the 3 months we've been away, have you joined the magic circle?
If only you think I could disappear, I'd be gone. No, not at all.
I was just thinking about who you might saw in half on the plots.
Well, we'll be doing a few
if anybody
tricks
was,
with
yeah.
sweet peas, and I'm going to be talking about ranunculi.
Ranunculi? Is it ranunculi or ranunculus?
Ranunculi. I don't know. Is there a plural? I'll be talking about them anyway. They're flowers.
Like sheep.
They're lovely.
It's like sheep.
flowers.
Yeah, because it's the same same pluralised as it is singular.
You see, even Gareth starting to ramble now. It's
Shall we get
catching,
away?
isn't it?
Shall we just
turn it all off now?
Yeah.
Come on, let's get the kettle on.
The Plotcast podcast with the Potty Plotters, sponsored by J. Parkers, is an Amberland Media production.